Irma Vep has revisited crucial scenes from Les Vampires throughout the series to see how Renee and company adapt them for a contemporary rendition of the serial. The episode Hypnotic Eyes, which obsesses over the technical and artistic struggle over scenes of excessively sexualized violence, is the only one that is focused quite as intensively on a particular aspect of Les Vampires. Where are the boundaries drawn is the query Asayas raises constantly over these challenging hours. Who gets to draw and who gets to do it? And where does the line between the erotic and enticing and the obscene and perilous imagination disappear? The solutions are difficult to arrange. Irma Vep is abducted in a hotel hallway and taken back to Moreno's room in the first major scene within a scene. Gottfiend, who plays Moreno, is our favorite vape-puffing crack addict. He accomplishes this by placing her on his back and dragging her back to his room while draping a scarf across her face from behind and using it as the rope for a knapsack. Renee sneaks back to Gottfried's mark before the first take and whispers instructions to him. He wants the actor to surprise Mira in the take, but not hurt her. This type of set trickery has been reported before, usually involving kids. Examples range from the relatively innocent, such as Steven Spielberg convincing a 6-year-old Drew Barrymore that E.T. was real to draw real tears when he dies, to the more sinister, such as Robert De Niro inserting his thumb into Juliette Lewis's mouth to intensify the most gruesome scene in Cape Fear. Mira is not having it. Given her enraged response, the yelps of pain as Gottfried whips her over his back in the first take sound very real. "Let me be quite clear, this is our first scene together," snaps Mira. "You'll need to act in a different manner," she said. Renee himself inquires as to her well-being, but he is more worried that the scenario lacks the suspense he was hoping for. That has always been the director's tunnel vision when putting actors in awkward or even dangerous situations. They are fixated on capturing the shot they want by any means necessary, and if this means that there will be unintentional human deaths as a result of their artistic vision, then be it. Just inquire with Sarah Polley. In a later scene, Moreno hypnotizes Irma Vep to help her carry out a complex plan, making things even stickier. Irma Vep's authority is taken away from her, she is humiliated, and she is reduced to a damsel in need as a result of Renee's attempt to draw out the scene's sensual element through an agonizingly long take. According to Mira, the sequence from the original is the most watched on YouTube, and Renee hypothesizes that this is because it is the ultimate teenage desire. Boys, he claims, fantasize about stealing girls because they are afraid of them. The next dilemma is whether such dream has an amusing charge to it, as Renee and Mira generally concur, or if Irma Vep's seduction is a form of rape. The on-set drama involving Robert, the more experienced actor recruited to play the Grand Vampire, casts a shadow on the conflict surrounding the moment. Raising a stink about the scene is Robert's way of getting back at Renee for not paying attention to him. Renee is open to criticism that he is exaggerating the sexual content of the scenario and that he is insensitive to female concerns given his already precarious position as the production's director, with his producer, major investor, and insurer all disliking him. However, he views the concerns as a heap of puritanical baloney. He wonders if movies shouldn't put people to sleep. Mira's support for Renee during the hypnotic seduction scene, which she describes as strong and sexy, is probably a reliable indication of Olivier Assayas's position as well. This position corresponds with the erotic energy of the first Irma Vep and some of his other films. Nevertheless, Hypnotic Eyes is astute about the boundaries that different individuals draw over well-known cinema debates, such as how far a director should be permitted to go in order to get the shot they want, or when a scene meant to be an enticing one turns into an exploitative masculine fantasy. Renee said to his therapist that the motivation behind his Irma Vep series was more fetishistic than creative, so it was inevitable that it would encounter some issues. However, many works of great art have been produced by artists who indulge their compulsions and kinks. For the time being, as Irma Vep the series and the Les Vampires remake approach their conclusion, pressure to oust Renee as director grows. Part of this is due to his erratic behavior and dubious decisions, sure, but some is also attributable to personal motives that are beyond his control. Jean-Pierre Elod's Renee didn't summon his deepest and finest artistic impulses, which also resembled a nervous breakdown, until his Les Vampires completely disintegrated. Renee is getting psychologically closer and closer to the same cliff. The essence of Renee's directing style may be summed up as his insisting on smoking in the car while forbidding his driver from opening the windows or turning on the air conditioning. It was a nice touch to include historical events that happened during the filming of the original Les Vampires in the production, especially in the sequence where Musidora murders the actor who played the Grand Vampire near the conclusion. Go immediately to your accountant for your last payday, the director, who is played by Renee, tells the actor as he gets up and approaches him to ask what happens next. Renee is prepared to toss the screenplay in order to do as Robert is doing in the moment by creating a scene on his set. Mira has a very erratic and impetuous romantic life, which inevitably causes collateral harm. She and Zoe shared a moment that meant something to Zoe, and she makes an effort to keep her promise to Mira to see her again after a nice night out on the town. The most Mira can manage is to politely decline her request. She explains to Zoe, "I like you. But this isn't my world," I say.